People have been speculating about a female Hawkeye for a while. Is that her in the Avengers Endgame trailer? Will Marvel make a Young Avengers movie? And now comes news that Disney's working on a Hawkeye Kate Bishop series for their Disney Plus streaming platform. All that talk makes this the perfect time to talk about Kate Bishop. Who is she? What is her history? And why is she so cool? But before we begin, let me thank you for watching JLS Comics and pressing play. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want, the subscribe button as well. I upload new comic book, movie, superhero, anime content weekly. Alright, with that out of the way, let's jump right into our Kate Bishop story. So let's start with the Endgame trailer. One shot does show Clinton Barton, Hawkeye, out in a field training a young girl with a bow and arrow, and while this very well could be his daughter Lila Barton, she just seemed too old, especially if it turns out to be a flashback to pre the Snap days. So who could it be? Well, the internet seems to think that this is Kate Bishop, the third character to adopt the nom de guerre Hawkeye. Kate Bishop was first introduced in the mid-2000s, Alan Heinberg and Jim Chung comic book Young Avengers, but her story begins well before that. Kate's path to being a hero is an unlikely one, shaped by a good heart, a pile of money, and a series of tragedies. Kate never grew up with superpowers. She's the progeny of Derek Bishop, a publishing magnate with immense wealth and founder of Bishop Publishing. Her estranged mother died on a trip to Colorado when Kate was young. Always a philanthropist and always altruistic, Kate would frequently spend time in homeless shelters and soup kitchens, donating her wealth and her time to support the needy. There was a time as a young girl when her father Derek met up with a criminal named El Matador. El Matador took Kate hostage, but when the Avengers stepped in to rescue her, this is when she first encountered Hawkeye, and he became a role model for her. The idea that you can be a hero even without superpowers planted firmly in her head. So one time while in Central Park, Kate was attacked and raped. The traumatic incident prompted her to enroll in self-defense classes and therapy, and because of her money from the Bishop estate, she was able to get the best there is. She also went to a private school called Hawthorne Academy and was able to study all major martial arts and fencing and archery, and she actually only told two people about that rape attack. One was her therapist and the other was Jessica Jones. On her sister's wedding day at St. Patrick's Cathedral, gunmen burst in and held the guest hostage. It was the Bishop family fortune that actually made them a, well, rather lucrative target. A new team called the Young Avengers came in and tried to rescue the wedding attendees from the assailants, but actually only ended up becoming hostages themselves. So Kate, with all her new training, jumped into the fray and took down one of the gunmen using a throwing star from Patriot. The gunman had held her at gunpoint and she was able to overcome him and subdue him. Unsurprisingly, this attack made the news. Cassie Lang, Ant-Man's daughter, was actually trying to find the Young Avengers at that time when she saw the report of the attack in the news on Kate's sister's wedding and how the Young Avengers showed up trying to save everyone. So Cassie reached out to Kate to ask if she knew their whereabouts. She didn't, but Cassie and Kate were able to track them to the ruins of the Avengers mansion. The mansion had been destroyed when Jack of Hearts just traipsed right in through the front door and exploded, and then a Quinjet crashed into the rubble as part of Avengers Disassembled. And during this time period, it's also when a Kree armada was attacking Manhattan and Clinton Barton died, although he was later revived with no memories after House of M. An old initiative that Vision had programmed in the past was activated when the mansion was destroyed, called the Failsafe program, which would recruit and activate people connected to the Avengers in the event that they were completely wiped out. And each of the Young Avengers members are loosely tied to active roster Avengers in one way or another, except for Kate, who actually invited herself to join the team. So back at the mansion, while investigating the Young Avengers, Kate found some old Avengers gear in an equipment room and took the items worn by Hawkeye, Black Widow, Mockingbird, and a sword from the swordsman. And when Patriot saw her, he laughed at her and was like, "What does that make you, Mockingbird?" She invited herself to join the team, and they quickly fought their first fight against King the Conqueror. The Young Avengers won, but were scolded by Iron Man and Captain America for going out and risking their young lives. They weren't prepared, they were too young, and they didn't have their parents' permission. Fueled by the victory, Kate convinced the rest of the Young Avengers that they were doing something good and should actually stay together as a team. Although Iron Man and Captain America had told them to disband, but they listened to Kate instead. She bought everyone new weapons and costumes with her father's money, and she found a warehouse belonging to her wealthy father that was abandoned, and actually this became their Young Avengers headquarters. Despite not having superpowers like her peers, Kate became a co-leader with Patriot, a teammate with whom she had had a romance for a while. And at one point soon thereafter, Patriot was injured, and Captain America told them that if they disbanded, Patriot might not have been injured and they should have listened to him. And this is actually where Kate had a rather heroic moment. She stepped up to Captain America and told him, "No. It's you, Captain America, that needs to take responsibility. You're the one who refused to train us. We were just doing what we were meant to do. You should have given us the proper training, and you didn't." Captain America was impressed that Kate had stood up to him, so he gave Hawkeye's old costume and bow and arrow to Jessica Jones to give to Kate, along with a note that basically said, "Hey, guess what? You're the new Hawkeye." She was the first person to stand up to him since Clint Barton did. So that's when she officially became the third Hawkeye. This was during a time period when Clint Barton Hawkeye was presumed dead, but was actually out, as Ronin. During Civil War, Kate and the team sided with Captain America against the Superhuman Registration Act, but during this time, the Young Avengers and Kate were part of Captain America's Secret Avengers. Clinton had returned but had no memories and was using Echo's name Ronin, unbeknownst to his former teammates. In 2007's Fallen Son, The Death of Captain America, number 3, Kate meets Clint, although his identity is still hidden from her. At this point, Clint is still Ronin. Clint meets her again in Young Avengers Presents number 6, where he actually finally reveals his identity to her, and also gives Kate his blessing to continue being Hawkeye. They'd met up and kind of dueled many times, and she impressed him. That's why he thought it would be okay for her to have the name. After the events of 2010's Siege, Clint returned to the Avengers as part of the New Avengers, having gone back to Hawkeye from his Ronin days. So now we have 2 Hawkeyes, but he convinced Kate to continue on as Hawkeye as well. Kate's appeared in the 2010 follow-up to Disassembled and House of M called The Children's Crusade, as she helped her friend Wiccan confirm whether or not Scarlet Witch was his long-lost mother. In Avengers The Children's Crusade number 9, Captain America made all the Avengers into full-fledged Avengers. Finally, Clint and Kate continued on as a pair of Hawkeyes in the much-acclaimed 2012 Matt Fraction volume of Hawkeye that lasted until 2015. He becomes her trainer, her sensei, her mentor, and they developed a strong bond together. The two personalities, coupled with the age difference and levels of field experience, made for a lot of fun, a lot of entertainment, and kind of a fascinating dynamic. You see, Kate really admired Hawkeye, she respected him, but she didn't want to become him. She could see herself heading in that direction and she didn't want to. And something that I'm sure will be represented well in the Disney Plus show. This is also when her personality, her humor, her impulsiveness, and all the layers to her character really started to shine through. She has all this depth to her because where she is now and how her comedy is sort of a mask for the memories and the tragedies that she went through as a young girl that she doesn't share with anybody. It's her fun departure from the moody stoic heroes we normally encounter. It makes for a really fun dichotomy between the two. Then she teamed up with Jessica Jones to defeat Madame Mask, who looked actually just like Kate. She was a Kate clone. She discovered that it might have been her father who killed her mother when she was a young girl through that story. After all this, Kate eventually moved out to the West Coast, Los Angeles to be precise, to start a solo career as a hero for hire. After realizing her dad had cut off her cash flow, she started a new venture as a private investigator. Half hero, half private eye is how she advertised her new business. She quickly discovered she was overwhelmed. Clint had just shot Bruce Banner, the Hulk, in the head, well, the eye, with an arrow, and everyone was blaming it all on her. So she decided to recruit Clint Barton and her friend America, and they founded the West Coast Avengers, and a bunch of other people joined as well. There's a couple other versions of Kate Bishop as well. The Ultimate Universe Kate was dating Miles Morales. The Old Man Hawkeye version gave us middle-aged Wasteland Kate, and a 1602 version from 2015 Secret Wars gave us a Robin Hood-like Kate. And that, my friend, is Kate Bishop. Is there something I missed that you think is important? Do you have other questions, ideas, reactions? Leave a comment. Tweet me at ComicsJLS. And if you're here and haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll be one of the first to know when we upload all our new content. That's it. I'm Jesse. This is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.